was asking some of the guys this on Tuesday. Y'all were in a game 3 last year in the playoffs at Columbus. What did you learn from that you can apply to this game 3 at Miami?
To be honest, I'm not thinking about that at all. Not crossed my mind. We'll go back. We'll continue to look at the last 2 games against Miami and give everything we've got on Saturday.
Is there any pressure on y'all on Saturday?
I think the pressure, a lot of it is on them, and so we know we need to turn up and perform, but I think a lot of the pressure will be on them.
Y'all have come through a stretch where you've had pressure on you. You've had to get results, and you've been able to do that. So is not having pressure on y'all good or bad on Saturday?
I wouldn't say. Listen, we hold ourselves to a certain standard. We hold ourselves in terms of what we're trying to do. So from an internal perspective, we always put pressure on ourselves. I think from y'all's perspective, a lot of that pressure will be on them. And so from our standpoint, it's about focusing on us, applying ourselves, how we've been going the last few weeks in terms of being able to find results and get results, and we want to do that on Saturday.
Brett, is the team, we talked over the years, can this team manage games and whatnot? The team has obviously improved a lot. Is it ready for the type of game where the conspiracy theories are going to be out? Inter Miami has to be in the final. Messi's going to get calls. They're going to walk out when they feel like it for the second half. Like, how has the team grown in that aspect of football, if you will?
Before I answer that, let me ask you a question, and maybe you guys have done research. Have they been disciplined for that? For showing up late to start the second half?
I don't think so. I know Argentina was many times.
The referee told us at the start of the second half that it goes in the report, but he even said the league does nothing. So I was just curious if you guys knew. Anyhow, listen, we can only control ourselves in terms of our application, in terms of how we approach the game, in terms of how we perform and deal with situations as they come up in the game. Can't worry about the referee. Can't worry about conspiracy theories and whatnot. At the end of the day, it's going to be 11-11, in their stadium, and we've got to go down and try and find a way to win.
How do you feel? I mean, you've been a hero here over the last month or so. Are you ready for another performance that could potentially get this team into the next round?
I feel good. I need to clean up things on my end too. Especially game 1, being able to make a few saves. But as I said after game 1, it ultimately doesn't mean anything, right, in terms of the result. And so, our guys did a fantastic job in game 2 to be able to battle back and ultimately go and get the result and the win that we needed to force game 3. And from my perspective, my job doesn't change. My job is to try and make saves and try and help the guys in front of me, give them the ability to go win the game. And whether that's in the 5th minute, the 95th minute, the 45th minute, it doesn't matter, right? So you want to give the opportunity to our attacking players to say, hey, go and score. And when we do, we're going to do enough in the back to get ourselves a result.
Was there a plan for Messi in game 2? I mean, for his standard, kind of quiet. I mean, still extremely dangerous. You have the best angle for that. But what was the plan, and does it change when they're at home?
Listen, when you have a player like himself, in terms of his ability, what he brings to a game, what he brings to a team, just him standing on the field, it requires your attention, right? And so when you have that, it's not down to one guy. It's down to it's down to everybody in terms of being aware and being able to help each other. And the plan, it's very few times does plan A work, and it's plan B and plan C and plan D, and you're having to adjust really quickly. And when you have that, it normally requires everybody to be on the same page, right? And so if plan A is player A defend him and take the ball off him, well, that may not happen. So then what's plan B? And plan B is to get 2 other guys to help him and cut off a pass to Suarez. And then plan C is to have somebody else come, recover and run and tackle from, the side and win the ball and put him under pressure and make him make a pass that maybe he doesn't want to make. And so it's a constant, evolution of the play itself. And how do you deal with those moments?
Brad, what would you say were the biggest changes made from game 1 to game 2 for you guys?
Listen, obviously, I think we could talk about changes from our side in terms of like what we did. But it wasn't a whole lot, to be honest. I think when you look at them, they're a team that they're gonna get the ball. They're entitled to have possession, and they want possession. And it's in those moments, how do you deal with the game? How do you manage the game? And trying to limit the dangers. In game 1, obviously we didn't get off to a great start in terms of conceding straight away. And I think the longer we can keep it 0-0 and allow us to kind of grow into the game, hopefully then the frustration and the pressures will certainly mount for them. But as I mentioned earlier, it'll be the same for us. And we've just got to be able to deal with those moments in the game.
After game 2, Rob said the way it went down was wild, and that's kind of y'all's story as of late. What do you think that speaks to, like the resiliency of the team just later in the season?
Yeah, I think it's been huge, right? I mean, you go back to Orlando, you go back to Montreal. You talk about resiliency, you talk about belief. Obviously, big words, right? In terms of what you need at this time of the year. It's and that's why when you talk about plans go out the window. It's 11 guys, and you believe in each other, and there's somebody sprinkling a little bit of fairy dust over the top of us somewhere, and we'll take it because there's certainly a good vibe within the group. There's a confidence that maybe we've not seen as much as we would have liked throughout the year, but it means nothing. It's all about now and here now, and we've got that confidence, and we've got that belief, and we've got that resiliency, and so with those attributes, we feel ready to go come Saturday.
Has Rob earned the permanent job? I know you don't make decisions, but you've been.
That's my answer, Felipe. I don't make decisions. Listen, we're excited to go into this. I think everyone probably had written us off before the regular season had finished, and so to be in this position, I know we're all enjoying this moment. You guys can see in training, right? The looseness, the laughing, the camaraderie, the joking, and you need that because come Saturday, it's going to be all business.
Deep into your career, does this type of game mean more to you than maybe it did a few years ago?
No, because I don't think about it like that. I think about it as an opportunity to advance in the playoffs. I think about it as an opportunity to do something special, right? I mean, we're not far off MLS Cup in terms of the amount of games. And when you think about it like that, that should put a smile on all of our faces because we have a real chance to do something. We want to go down there with confidence. And, for me individually, it doesn't change my approach to the game and ultimately what the game means.
Brad, for you, is there a moment, was there a message, a tactic where this team got more comfortable without the ball?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a moment. I think it was almost a realization of, hey, we're okay if we don't have the ball. And at this level, you're not going to have the ball for 90-plus minutes. That you're just not. That's not how the game works. And so I think having that understanding that we are okay and we're solid and they're entitled to have it. And when they have it, they might get a shot off. They might create opportunities or whatnot. But how do we limit the severity of those opportunities? How do we kind of manage this situation without the ball? And I think we've been a lot better in those situations over the last few weeks.
Brad, you've been part of the biggest moments of this club. How do you bring kind of that championship experience to this team as you're making this run now today?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talk about championships, talk about trophies, talk about why do you play the game, right? It's for moments like this to be in these moments. There's a lot of clubs around the league that would love to be in our shoes and be playing this game. And, this is another example of why you play the game. And so for me, it's not about trying to get a message across to guys saying, oh, hey, this is what it's going to take or whatnot. I think guys have shown that we have what it takes to compete in the playoff picture. And listen, we've got full internationals on our team. Bartek, Stian, Derek's a full international. we've got guys that have played at the highest level in the world's game, and so they certainly understand what's at stake, and I think that's shown in the performances, especially the last two games, but even leading up to that. So for me, it's not about trying to get a message across to those guys, because I think we all understand what we're going into come Saturday.
Where does Game 2 rank among your favorite moments with the club?
Yeah, I said afterwards. It's certainly up there, and I think probably down to the craziness that we talked about of how it finished. And so, after Sunday's goal had gone in, I remember looking around the stadium for a brief second, thinking, "Wow, this is 2018-esque," and that feeling was pretty special.
And how does being the underdog coming into this series, how does that mentality kind of change things for you guys? Does it make games like that Game 2 win, does it make those more special?
I don't think it makes it any more special. I think, like I said, how it finished and how we were able to score late in the game and ultimately put ourselves in a position to force Game 3. I think that's what makes moments like that special.
Where would a win in Game 3 rank?
It'd be up there. Hopefully it's not as crazy as Game 2 in terms of how it finishes, a little bit more subdued. But yeah, I'll take it any way it comes.
And still no thoughts about your future?
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
All right.
All about Saturday.
All right.
Brad, last one. Just about Game 3. Privately, do the players talk about like the magnitude of the opportunity? I mean, the world's gonna watch this game to see if Messi is still in the playoffs. Like, you could honestly shock the world, if you will. Is that something you guys talk about?
Not on that scale, no, because again, it's all about internal and what we're doing as a group. Correct me if I'm wrong. It wasn't Game 1 like, I don't know, live in Times Square and like shown in the Apple
They
stores
canceled
and
because
like.
of the Yankees, but
Oh, fair
that
enough.
was
See,
the
I don't
plan.
even know.
That was the plan.
That's what we had heard, and
That was the plan.
It is the World Series.
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like you hear these comments, but ultimately they don't have a real effect on us as a group, because internally we're so focused on ourselves that that stuff it's all on the outside. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate it.